It's the benefits of using a legal document assistant in probate and a probate real estate sale. We get into that next. Welcome back to the channel featuring the leading probate real estate team in all of California. I'm Brendan Moore, realtor, SAR Masters Club Life member, and certified probate and trust specialist by the California Association of Realtors.
And hey, I'm Bill Heyman. I am a licensed California professional fiduciary. I'm also a licensed California real estate broker, as well as I am a registered and bonded California legal document assistant specializing in probate and trust work.
Like and subscribe right now. Have a house to sell and looking to avoid the cost and headache of probate, trust administration, or even the petition to determine succession? Those services are included in our real estate listing package with no upfront fee, and sometimes no fee at all. We've helped families across California save thousands in costs and fees, and we may be able to do the same for you. Our contact info is in the About section. Please don't wait. Let's talk today. Now, selling a house in probate is more than just a regular real estate sale. It's a legal process. Now, what if you get the paperwork wrong? You can delay the sale, lose buyers. Maybe you're facing foreclosure. There's all sorts of things that can happen. You can increase costs and fees. Now, that's why you need a legal document assistant on your team, someone who knows the probate system. They can really make the difference. Now, a lot of this has to do with if a personal representative is looking to do this on their own,
right,
and maybe think that they're going to save some costs by doing that. Now, we'll get into that, the costs later, but Bill, you're my favorite legal document assistant on the planet. What is a legal document assistant?
Well, that's a very good question, and I certainly will try to answer that.
Sure.
Give a little history here of legal document assistance. Many, many years ago, before legal document assistant, the actual title existed, we were known as independent paralegals. And this is going back 30, 35 years. Independent paralegals worked without the supervision of an attorney and did paperwork, legal document preparation, etc. Some of us worked for attorneys, some of us didn't. When I first started in this legal document assistant paralegal world, I worked for a lot of probate attorneys, just did a lot of work for them, got a lot of experience that way. I want to say maybe it was 20 years ago that the state of California decided, hey, we need paralegals. So we're not going to let them call themselves paralegals anymore. We're going to make them call themselves legal document assistants. And they enacted some legislation through the Business and Professions Code, which essentially required certain educational requirements, certain continuing educational requirements, certain registration and bonding fees, etc. In other words, more regulation. But it's okay. It was all good. So now we are regulated by the state of California. And as I said, there's a lot of educational requirements that you need to have, but you also want a legal document assistant who has experience. And as you know, Brendan, and a lot of our audience knows, I've been doing probate work for pushing 40 years now. But a legal document assistant basically prepares legal documents according to what the client wants. A legal document assistant can do, not all of them do, all the legwork of the probate, which is something I do. I do all the paperwork preparation, I do all the filings, all the mailings, all the legwork. Basically, whoever's working with me, my client, basically all they have to do is just tell me what they want, sign the paperwork. That's all they got to do. I take care of the rest of it for them. Now, one of the biggest advantages to a legal document assistant, especially one that has a lot of experience in the probate world, can save you a lot of money. Legal document assistants do their work at far less than what attorneys charge. However, you have to remember that as a legal document assistant, we are not attorneys. We cannot give you legal advice. We cannot represent you. Only a licensed attorney can do that. However, in a lot of probate cases, and in all the probate cases that I ever do, they're not cases where the family is fighting or there's a lot of legal questions. Everybody's in agreement. They know they've got to go through the probate process. They really just need to get the paperwork done and get it through the system. And that's where a legal document assistant can be very, very helpful, save you a lot of money. And in all reality, I know myself and a lot of legal document assistants, we try to get things done as quickly and efficiently as possible because we normally don't get paid by the hour. We normally kind of have set fees, and it's just in our own best interest to get things done as quickly and as expeditiously as possible for our clients. Now, I'm not knocking probate attorneys, but some of them don't necessarily always operate that way. So just keep that in mind that most legal document assistants, including myself, we do want to get things done as quickly as we can for you. But legal document assistants, as I said, we're required to have educational requirements, continuing educational requirements. We're also required to be registered, and we're also required to be bonded. So we are pretty regulated business. But essentially, that's what a legal document assistant is.
I've actually looked into the schooling to become a legal document assistant. It's basically the schooling to be a paralegal. And people probably don't really realize this when you go to a probate attorney and it's a non-contested thing where you're just pushing through, putting paperwork through and all that kind of stuff. Paralegal in the office is actually really usually the one who's filling all that out.
Oftentimes, yeah.
Yeah, oftentimes. So,
in fact, I don't do as much now, but years and years ago when I used to do a lot of probate work for attorneys, that's basically what would happen. The probate attorney would, take in the case and then pass basically the work on to me, and I would do the work.
Yeah. So you get the actual work side of it and for less cost. Now, what can go wrong without one? And this is really a case of doing it yourself, a pro per.
Right. I would say the biggest thing that people attempting to do it themselves, what we call pro per, what I see is the paperwork's just not done correctly. And most courts will file anything. I mean, you can scribble on a probate document and give it to the clerk and they'll stamp and file it. And you may think you're done, but what happens is paperwork that you file gets reviewed by either staff probate attorneys for the county or staff paralegals. And they go through every single question, every single line on every single document. And if there's anything wrong, it's not going to get approved at that hearing, and they're going to continue it. It's going to cause delays. And especially if you're at a point where you're trying to get a probate real estate sale done, boy, that can be detrimental because you can lose your buyer because of the delays. There can be extra costs involved because the buyer has a rate lock on their loan and they're going to lose it because of the delay. All kinds of things can happen. And that's why if you're attempting to do it yourself and you're trying to save money, I would suggest you go with a legal document assistant who has a lot of experience so that you don't run into all those unnecessary delays because of incorrect paperwork.
That can lead to a lot of other problems you didn't even mention. I mean, heirs start to fight because the time's going on. Maybe someone's making the mortgage payment, and you mentioned costs. I mean, when it comes to real estate, you're talking about holding fees, being utilities, maintenance, and you might not be doing that. And in other cases, people are in probate. You don't want to lose the house to foreclosure for one.
No, and you bring up a point there. A lot of people think that, oh, the house is, we're in probate now, they can't foreclose. No, that's not true. Probate does not stop a foreclosure. It won't.
Well, that's one thing that banks, when they know that the owner has passed away, the decedent, if they're just dealing with pro pers or the family, they will sense that there's a delay there, that they're not getting things done. They may end up making that decision to foreclose.
Sure.
Whereas I know, though, you and I have been involved in several facing foreclosure. You've pulled some out that were on the auction block, essentially. And you're in direct communication.
Yeah, I mean, I have done a lot of probate foreclosure situations, and if I'm happen to be the administrator of the estate, which a lot of times I am, then I have a direct pipeline to the lender, or I establish one and get that open. If I'm not the administrator, I will do up some special paperwork that the administrator will sign, and we'll get that to the lender. And that gives permission for me to go ahead and talk to the lender. But we've handled many situations like that.
Yeah, and now most LDAs can't be administrator for several cases in a single year. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
correct?
yeah. You bring up a good point. Because I'm also a licensed California professional fiduciary, I'm able to act as the administrator of estates when people want me to or would like me to. They want a not unbiased, but an independent third party to oversee things. I do that quite often. And my licensing allows me to do it for essentially an unlimited number of cases, whereas an LDA who is not a professional fiduciary is limited to the number of cases per year that they can do. It's only, I think, 2 or 3.
Yeah. So just in case you're looking on having an LDA be the administrator, now you need someone with an elevated license, essentially.
Yeah,
Separate
and that license, that professional fiduciary license, it's an extra degree of, I'll say, confidence for the family, because my license requires me to always act in the best interest of the estate and the heirs. And if I don't, I can get in serious trouble and lose my license, which I don't want to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, how does this help the sale when you have a legal document assistant, one who also knows probate, helping you?
Well, if you've got an LDA, a legal document assistant, who knows probate and especially knows probate real estate sales, it just makes the entire sale much smoother, usually a lot faster, because we will ensure that all the correct paperwork is done up in a timely manner, and everything that the title company needs in order to close escrow, we will make sure that it's there at the appropriate time when it needs to be there.
It's quite a bit different than a regular real estate sale.
Yes.
The items that the title company will need, the legal process side of things, notices of proposed action, perhaps, those types of things, and you make sure that all that's done.
Absolutely. Yeah. One thing, just a side note to that. Again, not all legal document assistants are experienced in probate and probate real estate sales. And one thing that happens with inexperienced LDAs, and it happens with probate attorneys too, is that when an offer is accepted in a probate real estate sale, the second it's accepted, either the attorney or the LDA, if that's who's doing the work, needs to get that notice of proposed action done up right away and out. I'll give you an example. I had a particular probate case I'm working on right now. The offer was signed last night about 11 p.m. The notice of proposed actions are in my car, which I'm going to drop in the mail after this video session. So you got to get those out right away. It's just critical. And that's just an example of why you want an experienced LDA who knows probate and probate real estate. If you're working with an attorney, same. You want an attorney that knows what they're doing.
Well, next day is actually super fast for those to go out. It's also the reason why you want to work with a realtor who knows probate.
Absolutely.
Because I know that you've worked with realtors who weren't me, and you could be an offer accepted weeks ago, and you don't know until the realtor tells you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's happened. Not with you. Brendan gets them to me ASAP.
You told me early on, our very first one, you took me by the neck and said, you get me that offer the second it was, otherwise it's going to be a problem. Now, that didn't happen, but it is serious. That does have to happen very quickly. Our approach with the probate sales is we don't just list the home. We bring our own LDA to guide you through the paperwork, and it's part of our full service probate listing package, and it saves families time and stress and thousands of dollars in attorney's fees.
Yeah.
Now, if things get complicated or contested, we'll also refer you to a probate attorney, ones that we know very well, but most cases don't need to go that far. And it goes back to what you were just saying about some attorneys not doing things real quickly, that kind of thing. Something that we're just working on very recently, and one that I'm probably going to tell people about a lot, is you had taken over a case from a probate attorney. And this goes into that a lot of people think like, well, I'd rather use an attorney because they're an attorney. They must know what they're doing. They must be doing everything right. Remember, I said their paralegal is actually really the one most likely doing all the paperwork. The paperwork was so screwed up this attorney did. These people reached out to us, and you fixed everything, and you had I believe you said a 4-inch stack of papers that you submitted to the court. and that the attorney was essentially being removed from the case or removing himself. And they sat there in court, and the clerk said something like, "Oh, Mr. Heyman's paperwork, this is the best filled out I've ever seen," something to that effect.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a nice compliment. I appreciate it, and I always try to make sure the paperwork is the best.
Yeah. So, I mean, probate sales are stressful enough. Don't risk paperwork mistakes. If you're an executor or administrator, a personal representative trying to sell the property, maybe trying to do it on your own, having a legal document assistant on your side, one that knows probate, will help you tremendously. Expedite the process, save you a lot of money, really.
Yep, absolutely.
Please like this video, drop us a follow, and please reach out to us with any questions, especially if you have a house to sell anywhere in California in probate.